Okay, Namaskar, all my dear friends. Let us welcome Mr. Shekhar Potluri, who is already with us. Namaskar,
Namaskar.
most welcome to you to this elite gathering.
Thank you for inviting me.
This is a gathering of teachers from the across the country right now. Just we finished the previous session a bit late, so maybe they will be joining in a short while. Till that, we will start with this session. And my dear friends, I'm very excited to welcome Mr. Shekhar because he has been known to me as a brilliant gem. We all have heard that we have several lives. Gita says that, and so many other scriptures mention about it. But here is a group, Mr. Shekhar and his teammate, Dr. Newton Kondaveti from Hyderabad. I met both of them about 12 years back in Hyderabad, and I happened to take a complete training with them on becoming the therapist for past life regression. And this particular topic is so exciting to each one of us. And the interesting part is, Shekhar has done quite some research on the ancient scriptures and performed scientific studies on that. To introduce in brief, he is the managing trustee of Life Foundation and Quantum Life University in Hyderabad. He calls himself a spiritual scientist, which is nothing but a bridge between the science and spirituality that helps to understand spirituality in a scientific manner. He is also a scientist himself, an electronics engineer from BITS Pilani, and they are giving a wonderful contribution around the globe. This so-called past life regression science, which is quite complicated, they have brought it to a algorithmic manner. They have developed it. There is a flow chart which is there. How do you tap your earlier lives? And from those lives, not only visiting, but also to tap or download your skills, to download your jnana, your experiences. And I still remember this 1 week course of therapist was certified only after 1 year when we had presented therapeutic results after having conducted several past life regression sessions with our clients in those days. Mr. Shekhar is a master of past life regression, rebirthing breath work, inner child work, family constellation, transgenerational healing, and so many. He has conducted more than 3,000 individual sessions and have given wonderful results. He is an academician. Eternal Life Times is a quarterly magazine, quarterly journal, for which he is the chief editor. They have formulated an association of regression and reincarnation research, for which he is a founder member. Such an illuminated person is there with us. Mr. Shekhar, most welcome to this elite gathering. And now I hand over this mic and this dais to you for taking us through a journey on a wonderful topic that says the science of past life regression, connecting the eternity within you. Right, sir?
Thank you, Professor Chaitanya. And it's wonderful and you sharing your experiences with Quantum Life University more than 15 years ago. And this past life regression is a wonderful, it's not something new that we have discovered now. It has been around since ancient times. In our scriptures, you will find references in from every great master from India about the work related to past lives, reincarnation, law of karma, starting from Bhagavad Gita. We talk about the Jataka tales of Buddha. We talk about Jati Smaran, which is the Jain way of understanding their connection with their past lives. All these are ancient systems which have been in place, but more or less they have been forgotten. And people like Dr. Newton, the great master, he has revived and made past life regression again very popular, not just for the purpose of curiosity to understand our past lives or to know what we were, but from a therapeutic angle to resolve the present life issues that we have by getting a deeper understanding of the past lives and see what is actually stopping us from achieving the full potential that every individual is here to achieve in this particular lifetime. Every lifetime we come with a particular choice and a particular plan. I can say it's like an agenda, just like how a good student or someone who is learning, a scholar, has an agenda from time to time. You join a particular course and say, okay, now this is what I intend to learn. This is what I intend to become in this with this course. And we go on from one level to the next. In the same way, we learn from one life to another life, and we just keep going with that. So I will begin with a presentation, and after that, we are going to have a practical session in which I'm going to guide you all into a state of altered state of consciousness in which there is a high possibility of you connecting to a past life. So be ready for this wonderful journey. And the way we'll do it is we can have questions after the presentation about the presentation itself. And after that, we have the practical session. Then we would have a sharing of experiences after the practical session, where you will have to use the digital hand. And I would request the help of the moderators to present the persons who have raised their hand first. And we will probably, depending on the time that we have, we'll be able to take up some important questions. And we hope that that will help everyone to develop a deeper understanding.
That's a perfect plan that you have presented, Mr. Rajshekhar. Go ahead.
Yes.
Thank you.
So thank you. And then I noticed that I do have the screen sharing permission, and I'm going to start presenting start this presentation. I hope you can all see it. Please let me know whether you can see it now. It's a presentation.
Yes, it is come.
Yes.
Quantum Life University.
Yes. So yeah, and I would request everyone else to mute so that we have greater clarity of speech. Thank you very much for the cooperation and understanding. And friends, I represent Quantum Life University, as Professor Chaitanya has already introduced me. And thank you for that wonderful introduction once again, Professor Chaitanya. And Quantum Life University is the vision of Dr. Newton Kondaviti. He's our founder and chairman. And it is his vision to bring in a university which is on the lines of the ancient Takshashila University and Nalanda University, which were centers of the highest wisdom in the world at that point of time. And people from all over the world would come to learn spiritual science, what we can call it as Adhyatmik Shastra, or we can also call it as Atma Gyan and Brahma Gyan. Brahma Gyan is universal wisdom. Atma Gyan is soul wisdom, understanding your soul better. Your Atma Gyan is nothing but a part of Brahma Gyan. So this is just the introduction to the work we do in Quantum Life University, out of which the past life regression work is one of the aspects, an important aspect that we touch, and we help people to heal themselves, to understand themselves better through past life regression. So welcome, friends. Once again, welcome to this presentation and practical session where you can understand past life regression better, where you will get introduced to past life regression. If some of you are already aware of past life regression, it's fine, just go with the flow. You might come to know some things new in this whole process. and also experience something that you have not probably experienced before. So we say the science of past life regression, and when we connect to the eternity within, what happens is that we awaken the hidden potential. Every soul has the same potential, but how many are actually using the full potential, or somewhere a higher level of the potential that actually exists within? And there are some things which stop us, which prevent us, and these are what we call as the blocks. And from ancient philosophy, from ancient masters, we come to know that we have these things called samskaras. The Bhagavad Gita talks about the samskaras, and these are the characteristics that we carry from lifetime to lifetime. And these samskaras determine our behavior, the way we approach life, the kind of mental attitudes that we have, the kind of emotional responses that we have to situations. These are different for different people. Sometimes, and very often, you'll find even siblings, they're so different, even though they have the same upbringing, same parents, and everything is same, but they're so different. It's because each one is carrying different samskaras from their past incarnations. So when we understand, obviously we have both negative samskaras and positive samskaras. The positive samskaras are those which enable us to do the positive things in our life, and the negative samskaras are the ones which hold back, which hold us back, which are the ones which are the obstacles, and they are the blocks in our progress. And this is where we need to address, and this is where past life regression helps, because it helps you to connect to those past lives where you acquired these limiting or negative samskaras, and then we learn how to transform this in a way that you can overcome the limitations that those samskaras are imposing on you, and which are having a negative impact on your life. So that is exactly what we are going to do in this session. And before I proceed, my pranams and utmost gratitude to my mentors, Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi, the founders of Quantum Life University and the founding trustees of the Life Foundation, which is the trust that operates Quantum Life University. So my deepest gratitude to them, and it has been an amazing journey learning from them and being with them and being part of their vision for the past more than 25 years. And this is an amazing place to be in, because the world really needs this kind of wisdom. And the goal of Quantum Life University is awaken wisdom within. Every individual has all that they need to solve their own problems and to live a life fulfilling their potential completely, and to live with creativity, joy, purpose, and peace. And that can be done by awakening the wisdom which is already there within every individual. So let us first begin with trying to understand what is the need, first of all, to go into past lives. A lot of people ask this question, that isn't it enough that I have a lot of these challenges and issues which I am going through in my present life, and do I still need to go into my past lives? And why do I have to look at the so many other issues that might come? So what I will now say is that past life regression. So let us first understand some 5 basic questions that every human being needs to ask themselves in order to live a more self-actualized life, a more self-fulfilled life, a life with greater purpose and joy, creativity, and peace. So the first question, and I call these are the 5 important questions. The first question is, who am I? You might have heard of this great master from India, Bhagwan Shri Ramana Maharshi, and his entire life's teachings have revolved around answering this one question: who am I? So am I this physical body? Am I the emotions that I display from time to time? Am I my mental attitudes, my set of mental attitudes that I carry? Or what exactly am I as an individual? Is my life beginning now in this at the time when I was born, and then after that, when I die, it's all over? There was nothing before, nothing after. What exactly am I? What is the nature of my reality? This is that fundamental question which every spiritual seeker must ask himself or herself. The next, then you will understand that there are so many aspects to yourself other than what you just know about yourself. What you know is just the physical aspect of your existence, but there is the deeper spiritual aspect of your existence. And that will be revealed to you when you begin to seriously pursue the answers for this question, who am I? The next question is, what is the purpose of life? We all need to ask ourselves this question. Is there any purpose at all for life? Or we are born, we live for maybe 100 years and then we die? Is that all? And do what we do, and different people do different things during their life. And is there any specific purpose, any goal, any objective for this whole experience that we call human life? And that's the next second fundamental question that we need to ask ourselves. What is the purpose of life? And the third question we need to ask is, what happens after death? Now we know we are so proud of ourselves, of our achievements, of what we have done, where we have come from, our family, our background, our race, culture, ethnicity, and so on and so forth. Our education, and particularly we all who have been a lot into the academic field, we are so proud of what our achievements are in the academic field too. But what happens to all this when we die? That's a very big question that we need to ask ourselves. What are we doing all this for? That was the previous question. What's the purpose of life? And finally, the third question is, what happens after death? Does our entire existence and this whole personality, which we call, in this case, in my case, Shekhar Potluri, what happens to Shekhar Potluri at the end of this life? When I vacate the body, what happens? Do I still continue in some form or the other, or that's it? Is it a full stop? So that's the third question. Then we have the fourth question. Have you lived before? Just as I'm asking the question, what happens after death? Then automatically the next question comes, that did everything about me start when I was born? Or maybe now, since we know a little more about biology, we know about process of conception. So did everything start when I was conceived as a fetus in my mother's womb? Or was there something about me that existed even before that? So that's the other aspect, the fourth question. And the fifth question is, we all hear about destiny, we all hear about free will. What actually rules? What is the real thing that works? What is the truth? Some people say, this is happening in my life because it's all fate, it's destiny. It had to happen and it's happening. And some people say that, no, there is nothing like destiny. Everything can be done, created using your thought power, use positive thinking, use the law of attraction, and you do this, and then we all have free will. So what is the truth? Which is more important, or which is the actual reality? If there's only destiny, then it means there's no free will. And if there is only free will, it means there is no destiny. And how can you have a combination of both? Because both seem to be like contradictions to each other. Because when you say destiny, it means things go according to a predetermined path. Events happen in a predetermined fashion. So if something is already predetermined, then what is the role of free will? In what way can you change something which is already predetermined? So if you start believing that yes, free will is the only thing that exists, then what about destiny? So we are all aware. The Bhagavad Gita also talks about karma and the effect of karma and how things that happen in our life, some of which happen because of the karmic situations that we carry from previous lifetimes. So what is the truth? So these are the 5 questions that you need to ask yourself. And I'm not going to give answers right now. As we go through the presentation, you will develop a greater understanding of some of these things. And at the end of the presentation, I'm going to open to questions about the presentation part of it and hope to give you some more clarity about these things. So these are the fundamental 5 questions which every individual needs to ask themselves in order to develop a deeper understanding about themselves. So we need to be open to be able to see the truth, because we all talk about truth. I want to find the truth. I want to know the truth. And I am here. We all believe that we are seekers of truth. But when we are face to face with truth, are we ready to see the truth? Are we open to see the truth? So seeing the truth, we need to develop the capability to see the truth. We need to become more open-minded. We need to become the real seekers. Only when you become a real seeker, then you become what is known as a seer. We say this person is a great seer. Why do we call him a seer or her a seer? Because they have started seeking, but they have been open enough to be able to begin to see things as they are, not based on their own conditioning. What we try to do is we have a set of conditioning within ourselves, conditioned beliefs, and everything that we observe, we always try to fit that into some existing belief. If you keep doing that, you will not be able to become a true seeker and then finally become a seer. And when a seer goes to a next higher level, then that person becomes what is called as a sage. So you have these 3 great stages in life. First you're a seeker. Then you develop more open-mindedness and you actually start looking at the truth. You're keeping aside all your past conditioning. And with that, you go into this mode of being completely open to receive things as they are and then understand them as they are. Then you actually begin to see. So then you become what is called as a seer. In practices such as shamanism, a lot of emphasis is placed on this aspect of seeing, the ability to see things as they are, just dropping your mind completely and going deep into it and seeing into this. We call it seeing into the seeing, so that you actually start developing the real understanding and you can actually find the truth. Then you become a seer, and then as you become more advanced as a seer, then you become a sage. And that's when people will start putting garlands and they're going to start making statues of you, and they're saying this person is God realized, self-realized, and then you become acknowledged as a master. So the seeker, seer, and then the sage stage. We need to go through that consciously and work our way to the level of becoming a sage. Everyone has the Buddha within, but are we ready to bring that Buddhahood out and then begin to understand, acknowledge our Buddhahood? So we all have heard about this anecdote about the blind man and the elephant, and each one is looking at the truth from his own perspective, from his own conditioned beliefs. So that's exactly what I was talking about in the previous slide, where we said we need to be open. Are we ready to face the truth? Are we ready to see the truth as it is by dropping our conditioning? So we need to be ready to do that in order to go into the deeper understanding of the self. And when we are doing that, then the transformation begins. You begin to transform from a caterpillar into a beautiful butterfly. So the paradigm for any process which takes you into a higher level of understanding, is always self-discovery and self-knowledge. To know more about yourself, to understand more about your own existence, about your reality. That is the paradigm. That's what takes us into the next level of understanding. So then you become like the proverbial duckling into the swan. From the ugly duckling, you become that beautiful swan. That's why all enlightened beings, they are bestowed upon this title of Paramahamsa. We say Paramahamsa Yogananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, because you become that beautiful swan, like completely transforming yourself, removing all your ignorances, removing all the blocks that you have, and then you transform into that beautiful swan. And then you can be then truly called as a Paramahamsa. So all this may sound to be like very daunting, very challenging, and say, okay, is that really for me? I mean, I think I'm just some very insignificant person. Can I really go into that level? We are talking about all big concepts out here. We're talking about enlightenment. We're talking about becoming a sage. We're talking about dropping our conditioning. So is that really possible? Yes, it is possible. Every great enlightened master, they were born as human beings, born in this particular, on the same earth on which we all walk, which is our home too. And they progressed from one life to the other. It all didn't happen in just one lifetime. From one lifetime to another, they just kept evolving and evolving. And finally, they reached to that stage of Buddhahood, or the enlightened stage, the Nirvana stage, the Kaivalya stage, whatever you may call it. And however, every journey begins with just a single step. And this is the wonderful quote from this great Chinese master, Lao Tzu. And he says, and to do that, what are some of the prerequisites that you need to develop, or which you need to absorb? The first thing is drop expectations. The second is drop habitual logical thinking mind, because our logical thinking mind always tries to find instant validation and answers by referring to our own existing understanding. But when we do that, we are not ready to learn new things. In order to learn new things, you must be able to completely empty the old things that are already there in your mind. So you need to drop that habitual logical thinking and completely go into that mode of emptiness. And again, I refer to this wonderful master Lao Tzu, who has said that if your cup is already full, then how can you put something more into it? So you need to first empty your cup. You need to make it completely empty. This has become a wonderful Zen. You talk about the Zen koans, and the Zen koans, one of them is about this empty cup, which are basically anecdotes which talk about a very deep principle or something that you need to apply in your life. And that's always about dropping what you know, thinking that you know this or know that. When you want to learn something new, go with a completely empty mind, or a beginner's mind, what we can call as a beginner's mind. Be completely like a beginner, as if you don't know anything. The great master Socrates, great philosopher and master, said, there is only one thing that I know, and that is that I know nothing. We need to be like that. We need to become like that if we really want to learn. So drop expectations, drop habitual logical thinking mind, and then drop resistance. We also have resistance. Sometimes when we start looking at things, it triggers something within us, and something within us is not ready to accept that. And it is nothing but our own resistance. So just become aware of the resistance. What is it that I'm not liking in this statement? Suppose in my presentation, I say something, and this is not about me or my presentation. It's about learning. It's about transforming yourself through new learning. We get triggered when a certain statement is made or a certain fact is presented, and look at what is triggering you. Why are you feeling like that? And then say, okay, let's keep this aside for now. Let me not go into the emotional reaction of what this is bringing up within me, but let me just take it as a neutral statement, and then let it get processed from within me by first becoming empty. So drop expectations, drop your habitual logical thinking, and drop your resistance, and then go deeper into the understanding of what is being presented. So, and also you need to have faith. You need to have a belief that, yes, I can learn, I can understand, I can grasp these new things and new concepts, and develop a deeper understanding. If you don't have the faith, then no one can actually help you. You need to develop that faith within yourself that you can do it. And this wonderful quote from Jesus Christ, which says, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you will move mountains. So trust your capacity to recall. You say that, oh, is it really possible within a 30-minute process to be able to connect to past lives, to be able to see past lives? Just trust your inner ability. Like sometimes we remember things that happened when we were 2 years old or 3 years old, and we remember with such vivid details everything that happened at a certain incident or a certain situation that was happening in your life at that time. And when you can do that, then why can't you even recall your past lives? It's just going maybe a few years before, or maybe a few hundred years before, but it doesn't matter because it's all there within you. So trust your own capacity to recall, trust your own ability to go into your subconscious, which has everything stored there. Your subconscious is like a vast, infinite memory, and it's nothing but the soul memory. And it contains everything that the soul, your soul, has experienced from the beginning till now. And so trust your ability to go into that infinite memory and bring up those memories which are being called upon at that point of time. Trust your intuitions and your feelings. Don't dismiss things and say that I'm not feeling good, and you try to push away the feeling. When you push away the feeling, what happens is that you're also going to push away that memory. So, of course, in this process, let me make it clear that we will attempt not to go into any traumatic memories, because there is a reason why we don't do that. We are not in a position to be with you and help you, because this is not a one-to-one individual personal session, in-person session. It's a group exercise, and that also which is being done online, since there is no way that there's any physical presence can be given. So we attempt to always go into some very basic, simple memories, which is fine for the sake of the presentation, but we cannot completely prevent anyone from going into some kind of a disturbing memories. That is fine. So what I'm saying is, don't be worried about it, don't be afraid about it. Trust that just like when you have a bad dream, you always wake up and you're back to your usual life. So there is no way on earth that you will ever get stuck into a memory of a past life, and which is, even it might be disturbing, but it's not going to be stuck with you, and neither are you going to be stuck with it, because it is always there within you, and it was always there. It's just that you awakened that and you just connected to it at that point of time. And you have the key to drop it and put it back in its place, in that same place from where it came from. So that's important for you to know this when you go into a session, because then you will not have fears. A lot of people ask this question, that what if I get stuck go into a past life which is traumatic, and then I get stuck there? Then the only way that I answer that is that when was the last time you had a nightmare? They say, yeah, I have quite frequently, I have nightmares. Yes, then when was the last time that you got stuck in the nightmare and you were not able to come out of it? This is exactly like that. There's no difference, but it's just our conditioning sometimes, what we hear. Yeah, someone somewhere got stuck somewhere, and therefore, I should be afraid of this. So trust that there's nothing to be afraid of. It's a wonderful process. It's a wonderful experience, and you just go into it and you experience what you need to experience, and you will experience whatever your soul wants to present to you. And trust your inner wisdom, because you already have a lot of wisdom. You've lived hundreds, probably thousands of lifetimes before, and every life you have been learning, experiencing, and gaining wisdom from all those experiences. And from those experiences, you are actually going into a higher and higher evolutionary state in of your soul. And so that means you do carry a tremendous amount of wisdom, although sometimes when we feel low about ourselves, we don't acknowledge that we are this beings which have a tremendous amount of wisdom, that we are carrying all this wonderful, powerful potential that we carry just like every other soul. But you need to begin to trust. So friends, let's begin to go into the next phase. These were I would say, the guidelines or the basic aspects of understanding, so that you can understand the past life regression concepts better, and then you'll be able to experience better when we do the practical session. So past life regression is a process of letting go of buried, painful memories and the retrieval of lost energies. So this is where the buried, painful memories are the things that are the samskaras that we carry. And because of the limiting or negative samskaras, there is a lot of energy that is lost and stuck or trapped. And we try to release the stuck energy, trapped energy, so that your potential starts flowering completely. And so that's the process of past life regression. So then let's look into some key aspects of why we need past life regression. So imagine your life is a book, and suppose you read a book, and I ask you to start reading from the last 10 pages of the book. Would you really understand anything about what the book is trying to convey? And so it is with you and your life. You've lived hundreds of lifetimes before, and now you are towards the ending stages of your incarnational cycles. And without knowing what has happened, we are still trying to understand and get answers for what is happening in our life at this point of time. So when we really want to know this, we must quickly go through the past and see what are the things, what is the background, and what was our set of previous experiences that we carried. So we need to bring that into our understanding. That's what we call as seeing the big picture. So when we see the big picture, we get a deeper understanding of the self. Another thing is like there is a jigsaw puzzle. So you have many pieces known, but a lot of pieces, the clues are from the past lives. So when you develop the understanding of the past lives, then those pieces, the missing pieces get fitted. And then again, you can see what is the complete picture. So we're talking about big picture, we're talking about complete picture, and this can happen when we go into the past lives. So now this wonderful thing from the Bhagavad Gita, where you look at a human being. Now, the chariot the physical body is represented by the chariot. It is a wonderful thing. It's like a temple for housing the soul, but it's still just a physical, it's just a physical contraption. It is something which enables you to move around physically in the world. Then we have the emotions. The emotions are equivalent to the horses. And then we have the mind, which is the charioteer. And then we have the soul, which is, so again we see physical body is the chariot, the emotions are the horses, the mind is the charioteer, and the soul is the person or the master of the chariot who's behind and directing the charioteer where to go. So that's the soul. But unfortunately, most of the time, we are either driven by our emotions. That means, what if you allow the horses to completely go on their own? Your life will be berserk. So the same way, if we let our emotions rule our life, that's what would happen. On the other hand, if you allow the charioteer to decide where to go, then it would not fulfill your purpose. The mind will just go wherever it wants to go. It will not have anything to do with your understanding. So what needs to happen is you always need to connect to your soul wisdom and your soul plan and your soul purpose before moving forward in life. Then there's going to be proper alignment between the soul, the mind, the emotions, and the body. All these need to be in perfect alignment, and we need to bring this alignment. And that alignment can come when you remove the obstacles or the blocks which are being carried by you from past incarnations. So we must have heard of the conscious mind and subconscious mind. So what we find in the conscious mind is just a small aspect of what actually is. But the subconscious mind is, it carries vast information and experiences and memories and responses to the memories. All those are there in the subconscious mind. So in past life regression, we connect to the subconscious mind because that has all your past experiences, your entire soul memory. And through that, you are able to develop that complete understanding of the self. So I will say once again, this is something that you must have heard about through the law of attraction, positive thinking, that you create your reality. But this is one of my favorite quotations. It says, you create your reality, not some of it, not most of it, but all of it. You create your own reality, not some of it, not most of it, but all of it, which means that you need to be ready to take complete responsibility for your life situations and what is happening in your life, because you are the creator of that. So now I will go to the next aspect before we go into the practical session, to understand what types of modes of perception that we have. So you might have heard of people saying that this person is a visual person, this person is a kinesthetic person, or this is an auditory person. So these are the kinds of modes of perception that we have. So whenever we have an experience, how do we perceive it? What is our main mode of perception? It varies from person to person. So usually people who are visual will remember their memories in a visual fashion. They will actually look at it as if they're reviewing or replaying a video. An auditory person may actually hear voices and sounds of the memory, what was being spoken at that time or being said at that time or what was occurring at that time. An olfactory person will get the smells. A gustatory person will get the taste of what was being eaten then. A kinesthetic person will get the sensations, the body sensations, the touch, the feel, the temperature, the sensation, all those physical sensations that you get through the skin. the kinesthetic sensations. So a kinesthetic person will get those sensations. And some people are multisensory. In fact, we all are multisensory, but the proportion varies from person to person. So you may have a person who is predominantly, someone who is predominantly visual. So I'll just give few random examples. Like if it was visual and kinesthetic. So this is just one example. So you can have any combination of these things that are happening. So without going into more of that, next I'll come to the point of, so you will understand that the point of telling these type of perceptions that we have is that someone who's experiencing a past life, a visual person experiencing a past life, is very different from a kinesthetic person experiencing a past life. A kinesthetic person will relive the sensations. A visual person will relive the images and actually see things like a video replaying. So there's a lot of difference in the experience. So unless you know this, we are all conditioned to believe only in the visual experience, because we have seen a lot of times programs on television which show a person reliving a past life. And obviously, because television is a visual medium, it's all being shown in the visual fashion. So we begin to feel that that's the only way that people experience. So if you experience something different, you may feel that you're not experiencing anything, but that's not the truth. You may be experiencing. So you must know that you may be getting sensations. Like for instance, I give an example, you may be getting the feeling of the taste of salty air on your tongue. And then that gives you an idea that you are on the beach. But you're a kinesthetic person, you're getting the taste, and you're also getting the olfactory senses of salty smelling air and the kind of smell that you get on a beach. But you may not get any visual of a beach or seeing the water or seeing the waves. But still, it is a regression. The person is actually connecting to that memory. So that's how it varies. So when you know that these different perceptions are there, then it becomes easy for you to correlate the experience that you're getting. Of course, the important thing is not to try to wish for a different experience than what you're getting. You're getting an experience, just flow with it and be with it. That's how the experience will begin to unfold for you. So we have both left brain and right brain. The left brain is the logical, the linear, analytical part of us. And then the right brain is the intuitive, creative, and the extrasensory, which we call as the ESP part of us. So in any of these inner experiences or inner processes like past life regression, it's always good to give yourself a suggestion that for some time I'm going to give my left brain a rest. And I'm going to rely more on inputs that are coming from the intuitive part of me, the creative part of me, the extrasensory part of me, which is my right brain. And that suggestion always helps, because then you will slowly connect more and more to the deeper experiences from within. So the next thing is, there is something called choosing the framework. What is the concept of reincarnation? And when we come into this, there is a certain framework. For instance, you're playing a video game. A game has a certain set of rules. Say this is the boundary, you have to play within this. If you do this, then you will get some bonus points. If you do this, you will die. If you die, you will get maybe one more life or two more lives. And these kind of rules are there. So similarly, in this whole game of creation, where we all chose to come and participate in this magnificent experience of living on planet Earth, we have pre-decided certain rules for this framework. And those rules are linearity of time, which means we can experience time as past, present, and future. Whereas you must have heard that in quantum mechanics and some of the greatest quantum physicists and theoretical physicists, they have repeatedly been telling this postulate that time is not linear, it is non-linear. But in this physical framework, we do experience time as linear, but it's in the non-physical framework, or what we call as the larger reality. In that larger reality, time is actually non-linear. And here we have cause and effect. If you do something, then it has a corresponding effect. But that's not the case again in the larger reality. In the larger reality, there is no cause and effect. Here we have duality and polarity. Here everything is either big and small, tall and short, dark and fair, bright and dark, all these kinds of things. And you have, that's a polarity. And then you have duality. It's like me and not me. I'm different and others are different. Whereas in the larger framework or the larger reality, it's all one universe, and there's just one flow of energy of which we are a part. But we cannot comprehend that because it's too much for our understanding, and there's a reason, because we chose to be part of this limited framework for a particular reason. It's like when you are playing that game, you know that that game is not real, but still you feel bad when you are in that video game and you lose one life over there, and you say, oh, I just lost one life, and you feel so much connected with what is happening. And that's exactly what is happening here to us in life. There is a need for us to go deeply into this experience, else we will completely reject this experience, say that this is not real at all. We need to feel this is real. So you might be hearing a lot of people say this is all illusion and it's all an illusion, but it's not about the illusion. If you don't believe that this illusion is reality, you are going to reject this entire experience of human life. So it's important for you to understand that the illusion has a purpose, and for you to believe the illusion is real has a very deep purpose, and that purpose is to help you to understand life and to really go into the experience willingly and as a willing participant in this game called life. And then there is another thing called density or amnesia. So when you are in this life, you tend to forget other things. Not that it is erased, it's there in your subconscious, but in your conscious mind, you'll only remember things which are happening around you at that point of time. Maybe, something that happened only within this lifetime, and that also more recent events and things like that. So that is again a choice. It is part of this framework that there is density, there is amnesia. So amnesia is that you have forgotten, and there's a purpose. Now you might say that, okay, so that means we have decided to forget, or there is amnesia as part of this framework. So then why is it necessary to remember? Well, we'll come to that, because you don't need to remember unless you feel that you are blocked in your life at some point or the other. If everything is going, as they say, A-OK in your life, then this is not for you. You don't need to do it. But I'm sure most people don't have that liberty to say that, or they are not having that experience. We are all having something that we wish to change in life, something that we feel needs to be better, something that needs to be improved. And we also know that there is something within us that is stopping us from achieving that full potential. And that's where regression work comes in, because then you need to know that you have to get this particular information from within your subconscious, transform the blocks, those samskaras which are limiting your life experience, and then become the more unlimited version of yourself that you are meant to be in this life, or in any life for that matter. So these are some of the basic points. And then we have things called universal laws, and these universal laws which govern the reality. One of them is called the law of reincarnation, that it's the back to school approach. We keep learning and learning until we graduate, so to speak. And karma equals lesson, which equals evolution. Then we have things like, so law of karma is nothing but cause and effect. As you sow, so shall you reap. You will find that in every part of the world, the equivalent of what we call as the law of karma in India. So we evolve. First, you incarnate as a mineral consciousness, then we become plant consciousness, then animal consciousness, and then finally we evolve to the human consciousness on earth. So this is one of the evolutionary paths that as humans we have chosen. So there are certain clues to your past lives, and now this part of it I would like to take it only after the questions, and that's for a valid reason. I don't want to give you suggestive clues. So say, oh, I saw this in the presentation and therefore I'm seeing this now. So this is where I would take the break in the presentation and open to some questions for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then go on with the practical session, after which we are going to have some sharing. So I request the moderator to help with connecting any of the friends who have raised their hand and want to ask certain questions. Yes, Mr. Saxena, I think has raised. Can you please ask your question, sir? You need to unmute, sir. I think you're on mute. You need to unmute yourself, and the moderator may please give permission to Mr. Mayank Saxena to unmute himself.
Yeah, we have given permission, Mr. Shekhar. Would you stop the screen sharing?
Yeah, now he is unmuted, sir. Yeah.
Please stop your screen sharing for a while.
Sure. Done. I'll do that. Yeah. Stop share. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. So that we can see our friend. Yes.
Yeah.
We have Mr. Saxena. Please go on.
Sir, is subconscious mind a physical entity in our brain, or is it something related to energy or soul and stuff?
Yes. Now, to our understanding, it is a purely non-physical thing, just as the mind also is a purely non-physical thing. Whether conscious or subconscious, both are aspects which have actually nothing to do with the physical brain or the biological brain as we know it. Both are aspects which are non-physical.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Would anyone else be having any question?
Hello.
Yes.
So, sir, how to restrict our mind from social media and distractions and to focus on studies?
I think it's what you have asked is definitely not directly relevant to the topic of past life regression or my presentation, but however, I can tell you that there was one clue that lies within the slides that I have shared, and that's about connecting to your purpose. The more deeply you connect to your life purpose and understand what your life purpose is, the less and less you will go into any of these other activities which distract you from your life purpose.
Yes, that's true. Dinesh is asking, what is illusion and what is the role of illusion in life?
Okay, wonderful question. And I was expecting someone to ask me about illusion, and thank you for that, Mr. Dinesh. Sometimes we set our watch 10 minutes fast because we want to go fast and we want to do things faster than before because we are getting delayed otherwise. So the keeping of the 10 minutes faster time is an illusion. Do you agree with me, Mr. Dinesh? Yes? Okay, I'm not able to get any response. So the keeping of the watch 10 minutes fast is an illusion.
Yeah, he's saying yes on the chat.
Yes. So it is an illusion. But if you remember always that this is an illusion, would it work for you? Then you would automatically tune yourself into 10 minutes behind and say that no, it is not 2:10, it is only 2. It is not 3:05, it is only 2:55. so the illusion would no longer serve you. So as souls, we have chosen certain illusions because that's part of the larger purpose of evolution. And to do that, it is important for us to believe in the illusion. Again, till when? Till the point of time where you understand you've gone beyond the stage where you need that anymore. Let us say I become so organized that I'm never late. Then why do I need to keep my watch 10 minutes fast after that? I don't need to do it because I have mastered time management. So until I master the time management, I'm going to use that illusion. And that's perfectly fine because it's a valid choice. It's made by all the souls which has decided on this. And we are all part of that. I hope that answers your question.
Mr. Rajshekhar, you mentioned about different types of personalities and their senses. As a past life regression therapist myself, I would like to ask you a question that when I take people to their past life regression, they at times experience quite revealing things. Not only that, their present lives also correlate with those experiences. But in a day or two, they start and tell me that maybe it was my illusion that I had seen that story. And like they have a tendency to misbelieve that experience as well. Would you like to throw light?
Okay. So one is that we need to, if we are a therapist and we're trying to help someone, we need to caution them about this human tendency to disbelieve our own experiences. Okay. And that comes from our conditioning, because somewhere there is a part of us which is conditioned to believe otherwise, that such experiences are not possible. Can I request? Yeah, okay, thank you. So, yeah, so we are conditioned to believe otherwise, and therefore we say this is not possible. So during the experience, obviously the intensity is so high that for some time you believe it completely. But afterwards, your mind play begins to go back into its old conditioned thinking. So one, you must caution them and tell them that it's important to believe your experience. Because if you don't believe in your experience, there is no possibility of progress. If you don't believe in the result of what you're doing, then how can you progress? That means you're rejecting yourself at every stage. So it comes from a deeper aspect of self-rejection.
Okay.
So when you explain to them that when you're rejecting your own experience, what you're actually doing is you're rejecting yourself, your own personality as you are at this point of time. And you're rejecting the belief that you can become better.
Okay. That's important. Yes.
Okay, so, and that works. That works because I've done that with a lot of people, and then that is. And the next point is a very logical explanation is that they say this is my imagination. Okay. So this was my imagination. I think that was your next point, what they say, right? And I tell them that there is no such thing as imagination. Now, this seems to be like a very radical statement, but this is the truth. There is no such thing as imagination. Where does the word imagination come from? It comes from the word image. From the word image, you get the word imagination. And images are the language of the soul. The soul communicates to you through images. It gives you information through images. So it's nothing but I tell them that it is your soul giving you information. So it's not coming from outside of you. It's coming from within you. So when you begin to understand that it's coming from within you and there is no such thing as imagination, it works. Then the third thing I tell them is, okay, fine. Can we do another session tomorrow? And now you try to imagine something different. Let us say that person saw himself as a beggar. So somewhere deep within, he's not liking this idea of being a beggar in a past life. So that's what has made them to go back into the other story and say, no, that was my imagination. It was not a real valid experience. So now I say there's no such thing as imagination. And now let's do another session. And then let's do it, and you imagine something different. Now come up with a different story. They can't do it. They will go into the same story and they will go into the same experience again, because it is so real, because that is the truth. So these are the three things which I do to help them to get out. But anyway, I don't want to go much deeper into this, because this is not about session for therapists. I believe there are a lot of beginners out here who probably have never experienced past life regression.
That's perfectly right. Before we go to the experiential session, I would like to welcome the chairperson, because there was one parallel program ongoing in the university, and Professor Vajpayee has recently joined. I would like him to have a word with you, and can you make him a co-host so that he gets? Yes, we have done that. Professor Vajpayee, you can speak for a while. Yeah, he is also the registrar. He's also the head of management department, and so many activities ongoing parallelly. I would like him to peep in for a while. Yes, sir, you are here. Dr. Vajpayee, I would like to tell you that we have started the discussion, and Shekhar has pointed out, explained the science behind past life regression. Now we are moving towards the practical experience. Yes.
Namaskar, sir. Very glad to meet you.
You have to unmute, sir.
जी नमस्कार सर, नमस्कार.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
मैं यहाँ पर कहना चाहूँगा, जो हमारे प्रोफेसर अग्रवाल सर ये FDP आयोजित कर रहे हैं, ये एक बहुत ही अच्छे विषय को लेकर, और मुझे लगता है कि जो आज हम लोग सभी कहीं ना कहीं, चाहे विद्यार्थी हो, चाहे शिक्षक हो, चाहे अधिकारी हो, सो आज इस दौर से गुजर रहे हैं जहाँ हमारे ऊपर काफी मानसिक दबाव रहता है, हम लोगों को काफी स्ट्रेस में हम लोग काम करते हैं. तो उस समय में बहुत आवश्यक है कि हम लोग इस तरीके के कुछ ना कुछ छोटे छोटे चीजों पे ध्यान दें, जिससे हम अपने जिंदगी को और साथ में अपने काम को किस तरीके से बेहतर कर पाएं. मुझे आज राजशेखर जी का व्याख्यान सुन के बहुत ही अच्छा लगा. आपने जिस तरीके से यहाँ पर पास्ट लाइफ के बारे में बताया, और मुझे लगता है कि हमें कहीं ना कहीं इस चीज को ध्यान रखना चाहिए, क्योंकि आज हम जो भी काम करते हैं उसमें ये रहता है कि हमको इसका क्या फर्क पड़ने वाला है. हम जब भी सद काम कर पाएंगे जब हमें लगेगा नहीं, ये हमारे यहाँ कहा भी गया है कि नहीं, हमारे जो काम है वो हमारी अगली जन्म के लिए एक कहीं ना कहीं निर्णायक सिद्ध होते हैं. तो मुझे लगता है कि इस तरीके के व्याख्यान बहुत ही सारगर्भित हैं, और मैं राजशेखर जी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ उसमें कि आपने बहुत अच्छे से पार्टिसिपेंट ने बहुत ध्यानपूर्वक सुना. मैं देख रहा था चैट बॉक्स में भी जिस तरीके की उनकी क्वेरीज आ रही थी, जिस तरीके से पूछ रहे थे, बहुत ही लगा कि उनकी रुचि है. और मैं अग्रवाल सर और उनकी पूरी टीम को बहुत बहुत बधाई. अग्रवाल सर वैसे भी हमारे यहाँ नए नए विषयों को लेकर इस तरीके के कार्यक्रम आयोजित करते हैं. अग्रवाल सर ने एक और इसी श्रृंखला में बहुत सुंदर आयोजन किया, और मैं सर को इसलिए भी बधाई देना चाहता हूँ कि सर ने सभी स्पीकर्स को बहुत अच्छे, मतलब चुन के, जो अपनी फील्ड के बिल्कुल देश के जाने माने व्याख्याता हैं, जाने माने वक्ता हैं, उनको सर ने आमंत्रित किया, और हम लोगों को भी, हमारे विद्यार्थियों को भी, हमारे शिक्षकों को भी उनको सुनने का मौका दिया. मैं एक बार पुनः सभी को, विशेषकर राजशेखर जी को, प्रोफेसर अग्रवाल सर को, सबको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूँ. बधाई, धन्यवाद सर.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Vajpayee.
Sir, I'm getting a call from your university. I don't know. 1 second, can I take it?
No, don't take it. It's okay.
Okay. So I thought, is there some technical issue or something?
No.
I don't know.
It's okay. It's perfectly okay, sir. Now we can proceed with the experiential part of it.
Yes. So yes. So now I would request everyone to, maybe if they need a water break or something like, restroom break, let's take 2 minutes, because this is going to be a deep session. So it's better not to have any disturbance during that time. Yes. So we can be, I'll be here online. If anyone has a question, I can answer. And meanwhile, we can give 2-3 minutes for people to just go and come back.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yes.
Would you like to, meanwhile, when we are free, would you like to highlight the projection that is in your background? What is the model for?
So this is about the next project that we are working on at Quantum Life University. It is called the Sahasrara Pyramid, and it is going to be 18 floors high. It's about 180 feet high. And you can see there is a sphere, a globe kind of structure, and above that there is a pyramid, and the entire thing is encased in a framework pyramid. So this is a unique architecture which came to Dr. Newton in his vision, in his meditation. So in his meditation, he got this and he said, okay, this is going to be the next, I can say, sentinel kind of structure that we are going to have, which is the representation of awakening that inner wisdom within everybody in the world. Because that's the goal of the university that his vision is, which is Quantum Life University. Initially, we started this as just Life University, and later the word quantum got added into it because it represents so much, many things. One, it represents a quantum jump in our understanding, a quantum leap. It also represents quantum science, because now quantum science is really revealing a lot of understanding about spiritual science, what we understood. And that's why we said that science can be bridged with spirituality. And quantum science is, I can say, kind of the in-between field, which is bringing out that bridging between science and spirituality. So that's why the word quantum. So it's Quantum Life University, and it's the world's first spiritual science university. So being built on 150 acres of land, the land is already there, and we have accommodation for 600 people at a time who can come and attend classes over there, and we're already conducting classes there.
Yeah, I know. Professor Dr. Newton himself is a medical doctor. Yes. He's MD.
He's a medical doctor, MD. His wife is also a medical doctor.
Yeah,
MD.
Dr. Lakshmi is also a medical doctor. And interesting part is this university foundation that this duo, this particular couple, they have established based on their direct experience of their past lives when Dr. Newton himself was a professor, an acharya in a Nalanda University. Am I right, Rajshekar?
In Takshashila University.
Takshashila University, right. Yes, in Takshashila University, he has been a professor and acharya. Yes. And now there are related to this a query, like people always have a tendency to ask, how is it proved? But of course, that is what his talent and his experience and his projection, is a justification.
In fact, he has connected in his meditations, he has connected to more than one lifetime in Takshashila University, multiple lifetimes in Takshashila University. That is why his very deep connection with Takshashila University. And in a way, we can call the Quantum Life University as a reincarnation of Takshashila University.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It is not a copy, because no reincarnation is the same as the previous incarnation. Otherwise, the present incarnation is not required. Always every reincarnation is an improvement in terms of soul evolution, and in the same way we understand that Quantum Life University is more relevant to the present times. Because today we have scientific people.
And the vision that is put forth by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Modi ji to bring India as world guru is something that we are looking at from the group.
Yes. So there also we are just doing something which has already, India has been that leadership role in spirituality worldwide, because people were coming from all over the world.
Yes.
Takshashila
at the time of
University
Takshashila.
had something like 1,500 professors. We're not talking about 1,500 students, 1,500 professors. And they were called acharyas.
Yeah.
So
I think we are now.
University, we call the teachers as acharyas. So if everyone's ready, we will begin the.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, sir. So now close your eyes and sit in a comfortable posture. If you are sitting in a chair, you can cross your feet at the ankles. If you have spectacles, you can take them off, because with your eyes closed, you will not have any need for the physical assistance of spectacles. Clasp your hands, interlock your fingers like this, and then close your eyes. Sit comfortably. Just take 3 deep, relaxing breaths. Good. Just notice all the tensions, stress, strain, anxiety, worries, everything leaving you as you breathe out. And as you breathe in, just breathe in this wonderful healing energy, refreshing energy, relaxing energy from the universe. Just breathe in this healing, refreshing, relaxing energy, and breathe out all your stress, strain, tension, anxieties, worries, tensions. Just become aware of how you're feeling in your feet. Notice your feet becoming completely relaxed. Notice your breath going all the way down to your feet and relaxing every part of your feet. You can wiggle your toes. And see how your ankles feel. And as you shift your awareness to your calf muscles and the lower part of your legs, you will notice that these are getting wonderfully relaxed, totally relaxed, fully relaxed. Now, shift your awareness to your knees. Notice how this wonderful, healing, refreshing, energizing, and rejuvenating breath is healing and relaxing your knees, making you to feel very relaxed. If you have any stiffness, aches, pains in your knees, notice how they've all gone now. You're just breathing away any pain, stiffness, rigidity, and breathing in this healing, refreshing, relaxing energy. Slowly shift your awareness to your thighs and notice how you're beginning to feel more and more relaxed. Totally relaxed, fully relaxed. Now notice this relaxation moving into your waist, abdomen, lower back, pelvic region. And now become aware of the relaxation in your stomach. Notice how this wonderful healing, relaxing, and energizing energy is removing all the uneasiness in your stomach, making you to feel free, comfortable, confident, powerful. And again, you're breathing out all your worries, anxieties, tensions. You can literally see all those proverbial butterflies in the stomach flying out completely, leaving your stomach feeling wonderful, calm, peaceful, powerful. And now, at the same time, notice the relaxation going from your lower back into the middle part of your back. And this wonderful wave of relaxation moving along your spinal column, starting from the base of your spine, going up and radiating out into the rest of the back, going up and up, completely relaxing your middle back and upper back. Now become aware of the relaxation in your chest. It's 5 o'clock. Feel the relaxation in your chest. Notice how your breathing is becoming easier and easier, slower and slower, calmer and calmer, more and more peaceful. It's as if your breath has become so effortless, as if you're not even breathing, but you can sense this wonderful relaxation. Notice the relaxation now spreading up from your chest into your throat, neck, shoulders, and going all the way down to the palms of your hands. At this point of time, you may notice the faint tingling sensation in the palms of your hands. As you can sense the flow of healing, relaxing, refreshing energy all the way to the palms of your hands, fingertips. And now the relaxation goes up from your throat and back of the neck into your face, jaws, mouth, nose. And now the relaxation spreads into your eyes. Your eyelids are feeling heavier and heavier, heavier and heavier, heavier and heavier. As if even if you try to open your eyes right now, you won't be able to do it. They're feeling so heavy. And you can sense this wonderful relaxation in your forehead and crown. And again, you can feel this faint tingling sensation in your forehead region. As you can sense this wonderful healing, relaxing, and refreshing energy flowing throughout your forehead region and the crown of your head. And notice the relaxation in your complete body, in your entire body from head to toe. And at this point of time, if you find that any part of your body is not fully relaxed, just give it permission to relax. Allow it to relax. Let it relax. And once again, you're going to scan your body from head to toe and notice if there's any part which is not fully relaxed. Again, you're going to allow it to relax. Just allow this relaxation to become deeper and deeper and deeper. And in this very deep state of relaxation, I would like you to now visualize yourself visiting any wonderful place of nature. It could be on the seaside, riverside, lake shore, in the mountains, in the valleys, in the hills, in the forests, any place that is completely endowed with great natural beauty. Just be there and experience the wonder of just connecting to this beautiful place. And allow this beautiful energy to completely flow into you. Just allow the activation of all your senses, not just the visual, but just get the physical sensations. Is it feeling warm, or is it feeling cool, or is it feeling hot? Is it bright or dark? Is it sunny or cloudy? Is there a breeze blowing onto your face? Can you feel the earth beneath your feet? Can you smell the earth, the flowers, the leaves, the trees, the dust in the air? Just become aware of all the sensations from all the different perceptions that we have, all the sensory perceptions that we have. Just absorb all the impressions. Be completely there. Be fully present in that beautiful place. This place is your inner sanctuary. You can always visit this in your meditations. Whenever you want to connect to your inner self, when you want answers, when you need guidance, anytime, anywhere, you can connect to this inner sanctuary. Be present in that inner sanctuary. And at this point of time, I would like you to visualize yourself walking towards a house in the distance. You're getting closer and closer. And when you reach this house, you find that it has a flight of steps. The house is raised slightly above the ground, and there are about 10 steps leading up to the ground floor of the house. Now you've almost reached the steps. And now you're at the beginning of the first step. And you slowly start walking up the steps. And you're about to reach the ground floor. And these steps are leading to the main entrance. And this house represents some of the significant past lives that you had, all of which are connected to the purpose of this present life on earth. You open the main door and you enter. And there is a huge hall. And as you enter the hall, you find that this hall has many rooms, all of which open into this hall. All these rooms have doors, but all these doors are closed. You look around once, and one of these doors catches your attention. It's as if it's inviting you to come and open it and explore that room. So you slowly start walking towards that room. And you will find that as soon as you enter the room, you will find yourself in a different time, a different space. Now, you've opened the door, gone inside. Now you're in a different time, a different space, a different lifetime, which is significantly connected to the purpose of your present life on earth. Look at your feet. What kind of footwear are you wearing? Or are you not wearing any footwear? Feel the ground under your feet. Look around you. Just connect to your environment. Notice everything about this place. Which part of the world is this? What type of clothing are you wearing? Which time period is this? Trust the first impressions that you get. Whatever comes, just accept that experience, accept that impression. Trust the first impression that you get. What time period? Which part of the world? How old are you? Are you male or female? What type of clothes are you wearing? And what are you doing at that point of time? What do you do for a living? Who do you live with? Where do you live? Just notice what is happening at that point of time. Who are the people around you? In what way are you related to them? Do you recognize any of these people in your present life? Notice what was the relationship at that time and what is the relationship now with that same soul. If you need more clarity on this, you need to look into the eyes of that person. Even though that person may have a different body, different gender, but when you look into the soul, you look into the eyes, you actually look into the soul, and you can tell whether you know that person in this life. And if you do, you know exactly who that person is. Now move to the next significant event of that life. What would seem like an important turning point in that life? What is happening? When you come out of this experience, you will remember everything that you experience now. So just make a mental note of what you are observing. Go into one more significant event or turning point in that life. And look at what was happening, what was going on. And now move towards the last day of that life. What was happening? What was happening there? Who were the people around you? At the time that you were vacating the body, who were the people who were there around you? Again, do you remember some of these people in this lifetime? What was the last thought that you had when you were about to vacate the body? What was your last thought? And now observe your own soul leaving the body, completely releasing this physical baggage and coming out in the pure energy form. And notice this soul floating above the lifeless body. And now, in that beautiful, non-physical, divine state, just have a quick review of the life that you just completed. And trusting your first impression, know what is the most important lesson having reviewed that life. Look at what are the ways in which that life is similar. What are the similarities between that life and this life? Do you see certain patterns which were there in that life, which are repeating now? Do you notice the last thought that you had and what you intend to do in this life? Do you see any correlation between these two? Do you see the lesson that you learned from that life and how it is connected to what you are doing in this life and what you are continuing to try and learn, or what are the challenges that you are facing? What are the lessons that this life is teaching you? When you put that life and this life together, do you get a bigger picture? Do you get some more clarity? Something that explains many things that were happening in this life, but you were unable to understand? And with all this understanding, I would now like you to slowly start returning back, coming back into the present moment, into the here and now, with all the experiences and the memories of this experience. And in any future sessions, you'll be able to go even deeper and have even clearer experiences, visually, kinesthetically, and in every other sensory experience. Feel the sensations in your body completely once again. Connect your breath to different parts of your body. Notice your breath going to the different parts of your body. And slowly say goodbye to that experience and come back into the awareness of your body, your present feelings, and your present awareness in this moment in the here and now. And whenever you are ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Welcome back, friends. Welcome back. And I would like anyone who wishes to share their experience to raise the hand. Yes. Would anyone like to share their experience? Sorry? You can use the raise hand option in the Zoom so that the moderator can enable.
Actually, we have permitted everyone to unmute.
Okay, okay.
So there is no issue.
Okay.
I think they will take some time, some minutes to, some moments to come out of that trance experience.
Okay. Yeah,
to the conscious mind.
Yes. I think Mr. Avinash Gulati has unmuted. Avinash Bajpai, sorry. Would you like to say something? So let me come back to this. I'll ask a question. How many of you could go into that place of nature? Maybe you could raise your hands. How many could actually go to the place of nature and connect to this place of nature? Yes, Mr. Mayank raised hand. You need to unmute, sir. I think you're muted. Yeah. You can unmute yourself and speak. Yes. Please go on. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, please speak, Mr. Mayank.
Yes, sir. I was able to imagine and go to a natural place.
Okay. And how did it feel? I mean, being there, were you able to get different sensations?
Yes, sir. I was trying to feel the sunlight on my skin, the wind breeze on my skin, and be able to see the beautiful scenery before.
Okay. So were you able to feel that difference of when you're in that experience, how it felt?
Yes, I definitely felt like I really went somewhere.
Yes. So
I
now
tried.
this is what, when we do it over a period of time, we can connect again and again to the same kind of experiences, and you slowly develop that inner perception. So in the very first session, it becomes difficult to connect to the inner experiences because we are so much focused on external things. So with practice, anyone can regress. Strictly, anyone can regress. There is no fear that anyone needs to have, that maybe I can't regress. Almost anyone can regress. So in our experience, our statistics is that within 3 sessions, or we can say over 3 different sessions, 70% of people are able to experience past lives. So it's not difficult to be among and it is not that the remaining 30% can't experience. They may just need few more sessions, that's all. So within 3 sessions, 70% are able to experience. That's our statistics. So there may be people who can, work even more closely with them and bring out more people to regress. Higher percentage also can regress. So thank you, friends. We are almost
very nice, very nice.
And thank you very much.
We can open for more queries if there are any.
Yes, if there are any queries, also that's fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rashika, you provide personal sessions only personally or online also?
Actually, not online, because online has a lot of serious limitations. Yeah, so we will not be able to, get the same level of experience that one needs for working with people and going into the deeper healing.
Okay.
So that's why we don't recommend, as a policy at Quantum Life University, we don't prefer the online sessions, but only for workshops, because workshops are more of learning plus experiential, whereas sessions are more of direct healing and personal transformation. So for that, it's always best to go for in-person, whereas the workshops we can do online. And we also have in-person workshops like retreats where people can stay at our campus and experience the whole sessions. So we are doing all those in-person retreats in our campus only now. And right now we are having one program which is scheduled for 3rd of December. It is called Soul Coach Transformation Program. So anyway, I think people can know about our website. It's very simple. It is qluglobal.org. And I request someone to enter that in the chat. This is our website. They can explore more about all the programs that we have. But specifically, I would like to mention about Soul Coach Transformation Program. It has more than 100 topics of spiritual science. For instance, meditation is just one topic. Then you have astral travel, Kundalini energy, dreams, channeling, mediumship, like that. More than 100 topics spread over 20 days, but divided into 2 semesters of 10 days each. And the best part is this program is completely free. So accommodation, food, everything is free. And people are most welcome to enroll. We have presently 2 versions of this program. One in Telugu, which is going on right now. One in English, which will start on 3rd of December and on 12th of December.
Wonderful.
So details can be found in our website.
Abhishek Sharma is asking a very pertinent question.
Okay.
Phobias, how they are related to past life and how to heal them.
Yes. So phobias are related to past lives as well as to the present life, early childhood experiences. Okay. Anything that we have, any fear, relates to past experience. Like, for instance, as a child went into a dark room and suddenly got frightened there. So as this child grows up also, they'll continue to have this fear of darkness. This is just a simple example to demonstrate that our past experiences determine our present behavior and reactions and responses to environment. Whereas another child who has not had that kind of an experience may not have a fear of darkness. So we are talking about present life, but there may be some deep-rooted fears which are coming from past incarnations also. And this is mostly the case because we have hundreds of past lives. So those past lives would have their own share of negative experiences, or I would say limiting experiences. Nothing is negative by itself, but experiences which have caused some trauma to you. So we carry that and that become your present life fears. So if they are very intense, then they become a phobia. Otherwise, they are at the level of fear. What's the difference between a fear and a phobia is just the intensity. Okay. So when it becomes, the fear is almost like an obsession, then you call it as a phobia. Otherwise, it's at a more moderate level, or again, we have different intensities. But when you go to the past life, you go to the source of this fear, where you actually acquired this fear. And we transform the energy of your subconscious at the time of the experience. So in a sense, we are doing a reprogramming of your subconscious in the session. So when the reprogramming happens, then you can come out without that fear. That fear is no longer there within you, or the phobia also. So fears, and it works very well for fears and phobias.
Very good, very good. Yeah. One last question we'll take that has come on the Facebook, that as you said rightly, there are hundreds and maybe thousands of past lives on for you. So if you keep on healing one by one life, it might be a very arduous journey. Is it a right solution for the ascension of the soul, or for the transcending the limitations?
Okay, good question. We don't need to explore all the thousands of lifetimes. You don't even need to explore one life if everything is perfect with your present life. Okay. Now, having said that, I can definitely say that not a single person would be there here who can say that everything is perfect in my life. There are aspects of your life which you want to change, and you want to change for the better. You want to improve. Okay. So when we go into regression, we go always with an intention. What is it in your present life that you wish to improve or change?
Okay.
So we have a limited set of intentions. I won't have 1,000 intentions. So somebody may say, I want to improve my health. Somebody says, I want to improve my finances. Somebody says, I want to improve my relationships. So let us say I take these 3 intentions. Now with these 3 intentions, we start the sessions. So when we start, they will automatically go, because it's your soul which directs your experiences, and your experiences are directed by your intentions. So it's important to set intentions. So once you have clear intentions, then automatically you will go into only those lifetimes which are relevant, which hold the keys and hold the answers and solutions to the problems which you intend to solve. So you will not go into infinite number of lifetimes. You will only go into a very few lifetimes which have the key to the transformation that you seek.
Very interesting. Amazing. My dear friends, let us join together to thank Mr. Shekhar Potluri for this wonderful sharing of a very wisdomful aspect of the Indian philosophy, mythology, and different consciousness media, the past life regression. And he has presented it in a very scientific manner. And definitely it was a little tough topic, because the responses that we have received from you has been quite low. We can understand online. And secondly, the topic is a little bit, I mean, this might be a misconcept, or this might be a bad programming in somebody's mind, but it seems that this needs more time, because important thing with this technique, this particular modality, is once one single experience can release the problem of lives together. I have, to my own experience, several such examples. I was once taking a seminar in Ahmedabad. There is a Reiki grandmaster there, Nanak Varlani ji, who is all the Reiki people know him because he has the best Hindi book in Reiki. He had invited us for a workshop of 2 days, which we did. On the first day, one lady who was having a phobia of height, she went into her past life, and I have observed that those people who are having issues deep rooted to the past lives, they very easily reach to that particular solution. And she saw herself falling from a multi-storied building, because her daughter in that life was having an accident on the road downstairs, and she was leaning out and she fell down. She saw that experience, and she was given a healing post-life. Soul healing was also imparted, as Dr. Newton had taught us. I mean, in that manner, Shri Shekhar and myself, we are Guru Bandhus, because we have the same person as our master, who is internationally acclaimed and known. So the interesting part is, on the first day this happened, and this gentleman, the Reiki grandmaster, Mr. Nanak Varlani, next day morning, he asked that lady to go to the top of the building along with him, And he asked her to lean out and look at it, and she was amazed. The fear and phobia had totally gone. She came dancing. When she came to the second day morning, she had tears in her eyes, saying that I had a lifetime phobia. I could never lean from even first floor. And today I could very comfortably see that. So my dear friends, this science, as I say, it is a little tricky. Yes, I don't want to misprogram your minds, but I want to make you ready for the challenge that if you really want to have a breakthrough journey, because once done is done, that problem is gone. It's not like mind programming. It's not like something else. You do one step by step. One arrow can hit the goal and you are out of it. Definitely it is worth. And we say thanks again to Mr. Rajshekhar for this wonderful
Thank
sharing.
you. First, thank you for the opportunity. It was wonderful presenting to you all. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. We'll get in touch. If possible, we would. I'll share this website name here as Kalpana Rai has asked. And if you have anything to share, any document, so that they can go through it, either the PowerPoint
Yeah, I
or
think
something.
the website is a good place to start with.
Yeah, you can yourself
from
type
there
it.
they will get all the guidance that they require.
Yeah, that will be nice, and we'll conclude with it. I pray the Almighty.
Yes,
Or
thank
we
you
pray
very
the
much.
Almighty
I've
together.
also shared the website. It's www.qluglobal.org.
Let us pray the Almighty, the all-powerful energy, this cosmic energy, to pave a wider path for the ascension of our souls. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Namaskar.